Guys, you guys need to check out this hilarious Dave Rubin clip. Dave Rubin of the Rubin Report was the guest on David Pakman's show. David Pakman had comprised hundreds, I think, of questions. I don't know if it was hundreds or if it was like near 100. And he was asking Dave Rubin a bunch of questions as part of this interview. And he goes in depth. He asked him, he goes, do you, how could you be for single payer and claim to be a classical liberal? So also, by the way, it doesn't seem like he supports single payer healthcare. It seems like he supports Obamacare. So he doesn't even know what healthcare system he supports. But I kept thinking about this clip, and it made me hate Dave Rubin more and more because of realizing how much of a fraud and how much this guy blocks off basic logic. So David Pakman breaks it down. He says, single-payer healthcare is literally government intervention. It raises taxes for all people so that the government has single payer. Government is paying. It's single payer. That's government intervention within the healthcare system, and it's going to have all kinds of regulations. Classical liberalism, actually one of the main tenets of classical liberalism was free market laissez-faire economics. That was the real tenet of it. There really is nothing else to classical liberalism, other than, supposed civil liberties and etc. But he tells him, hey, that's government intervention within the economy. How in the actual fuck could you support single-payer healthcare and also claim to be a classical liberal? And he asked him, he goes, hey, do you think that maybe that's the wrong label? He goes, no. What the fuck do you mean no? What do you mean no? Of course it's the wrong label. He just broke it down in irrefutable facts. How could it not be? So he brings up all these other professors and shit. These are like the weirdest people I've ever seen. Have you ever noticed that libertarian people always look soulless and they look very weird? It's almost like, it's kind of like when you see an anarchist, like they just look hella weird. They look soulless or they look very odd or crazy. I don't know. But anyways, just check this clip out.
On that in a subsequent part of the interview. But to get to the politics of it, the policies you describe, a lot of them, they're sort of at odds with classical liberalism. I mean, to give you one example, and I'm wondering maybe if the classical liberalism term is being used a little too loosely right now by some, and we're doing a long-form deep dive into classical liberalism that'll be out in a couple of weeks. I mean, one example would be a sort of foundational classical liberalism tenet is the government should be involved not at all in anything that the free market can provide. Now, it's not can provide efficiently or can provide pretty well, but can provide. So according to classical liberalism, healthcare is something that should be 100% in the free market. And that means no pre-existing conditions, or it costs 10 times as much if you have pre-existing conditions, or whatever it is that for-profit corporations want to do. The view you stated yourself having on single-payer healthcare, it could not be more opposed to classical liberalism. So is it possible it's maybe not the right label for you?
No, it's not possible that it's not the right label, because I know all the tenets of classical liberalism quite well, and I assure you it's not. Look,
you stated yourself having on single-payer healthcare, it could not be more opposed to classical liberalism. So is it possible it's maybe not the right label for you?
No, it's not possible that it's not the right label, because I know all the tenets of classical liberalism quite well, and I assure you it's not. Look, no, it's not possible that it's not the right label, because I know all the tenets of classical liberalism quite well, and I assure you it's not. Look.
What's up, guys? It's Saul Hill here. You guys are watching The Progressive Voice. Make sure you guys click subscribe down below. We're fighting Donald Trump tooth and nail, and we need your help.